Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Today there is a debate, a very intense debate that's going on within Israel. I say within Israel. There are very prominent American Jews that have entered this debate, sadly. But it's a debate over the Levy report. It's a report that was commissioned to find out what is the legal status of Judea and Samaria, of the West Bank. Retired Supreme Court Justice Edmund Levy led the research into this and the debate on it, and the findings were basically the Levy report concluded that Israel is not occupying the Judea and Samaria, not occupying, I repeat, and that there is no legal prohibition to populate the West Bank, Judea and Samaria with Jewish residents. Now this goes back to the League of Nations findings in 1918, where Britain was mandated to provide a national homeland for the Jewish people that included what is today referred to as the West Bank or Judea and Samaria. 1948, war came along. Israel declared their independence. 5 Arab nations attacked them. When the ceasefire was finally brought into being, Jordan had occupied, I repeat, Jordan had occupied what is the West Bank or Judea and Samaria, and it was not regained until 1967 during the Six-Day War, where Israel recaptured that and took over the city of Jerusalem as well. Now, there's no debate as to the legal standing, and this just reconfirms that. But in the wake of this, there's some 40 Jewish, very prominent leaders, including rabbis, tragically, and I'll just read an excerpt of their letter to the Prime Minister. As strong advocates of Israel's security and well-being as a Jewish and democratic state, we're deeply concerned about the recent findings of the government commission led by retired Supreme Court Justice Edmund Levy. We fear that if approved, this report will place the two-state solution and the prestige of Israel as a democratic member of the international community in peril. May I say to you, the two-state solution advocated by the Oslo Accords is dead in the water. It's dead. It was a colossal failure. There was just a conference held in Washington this week where that issue surfaced again by Jewish leaders, and there are a number of people, a growing number of people, that are advocating the annexation of Judea and Samaria into Israel. It's the legal precedent has already been established, but also the biblical precedent. And there's no one, the Americans, these 40 Jewish people are not saying that there is no legal standing, but they completely refuse, these rabbis refuse to acknowledge the ultimate authority of the Hebrew Scriptures. For example, God says in Genesis chapter 15, on that day Yahweh made a covenant with Abraham and said to your descendants, I give this land, and from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates. Genesis chapter 17 continues, I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant with me and you and your descendants after you for generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you are now an alien, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God, the descendants' God. And one has to ask the question, do these Jewish rabbis who are disclaiming any control over Judea and Samaria, are they really recognizing the God of Israel as their God? Make no mistake about this. God has said who this land belongs to, and it will in fact take place. Maybe ultimately only when the Messiah comes, but God will have the last word as to who this land belongs to. You can count on it. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.